join all of you today at the Thailand Security Dialogue 2025. Allow me to begin by expressing my deep appreciation to General Pongtep and General Songwit for this important gathering. At a time when disruptions seem to define our era, whether in geopolitics, geoeconomics, technology, or the environment, our task is not only to manage crisis, but also to envision a sustainable and peaceful security order for the decades ahead. The theme of this conference, Peace and Security in a Global Disruption, cannot be more timely. Disruption today is not a passing storm. It is the atmosphere we all live in, shaping the trajectory of nations and life of citizens. Around us, we are seeing intensifying rivalry among major powers, the weaponization of trade and technology, the rise of new and unpredictable security threats, and the human consequences of climate change and pandemics. In the Indo-Pacific, these dynamics converge with particular intensity. And for Thailand, disruption is no longer an abstract concept. It is our daily reality. Given our geographical position at the crossroads of continental and maritime Asia, one of the greatest challenges before us, of course, is geopolitical confrontation. The rivalry between major powers reverberates through trade, investment, financial and monetary competition, technology, and also territorial disputes. Tensions of the South China Sea, the Korean Peninsula, the Taiwan Strait, and conflicts close to our own borders remind us that the cost of this calculation is high and the margin for error is narrow. In Europe, the war in Ukraine has demonstrated how quickly conflicts can escalate to destabilize the entire regions. In the Middle East, the violence in Gaza shows how the breakdown of trust and dialogue can inflict immeasurable human suffering. Closer to home, the crisis in Myanmar is a reminder that instability does not stay within the borders. It spills over into flows of displaced persons, trafficking, and humanitarian strain on neighbors. Peace and reconciliation in Myanmar is therefore a deep concern for Thailand, for ASEAN, and for the whole region. The rockets fired from Cambodia onto hospitals, people's houses, and public places in Thailand caused mass evacuation of hundreds of thousands of Thai villages in many provinces affected by the armed attack. The landmines causing casualty to people and tension along the border between Thailand and Cambodia is of great concern for the region. To the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, global military spending reached $2.44 trillion in 2023, the highest ever recorded, with Asia and Oceania seeing the largest regional increase. History teaches us that when security dilemmas intensify, escalation often comes suddenly and with devastating effect. For ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, therefore, the lesson is clear. We must remain a zone of dialogue, not a zone of conflict. Mechanisms such as the ASEAN Regional Forum, the ASEAN Defense Ministers Forum, the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation may not be perfect, but they remain indispensable platforms for confidence building, for preventive diplomacy, and conflict resolutions. Thailand has long believed that preventive diplomacy must stand at the core of our regional strategy because talking is always better than fighting, and trust, even very fragile, is always better than suspicion. Today, modern and conventional war occur simultaneously, and it is well proven that conventional war has affected economies of many countries not party to the conflict. Sanctions on Russia, for example, have disrupted energy and food markets worldwide. Attacks on ships passing through conflict zones like in the Red Sea have forced vessels to reroute, raising costs and delaying supply chains. This demonstrates the deep interrelationship between the modern and conventional war, and between the armed conflict and impact on global economy. Geopolitical rivalry and reciprocal tariffs have also led to fragmented globalization, affecting exports, investment, and global supply chains. We are living in an emerging new international economic order, in my view, where bilateral and regional free trade agreements may increasingly replace the World War II multilateral trading system. In addition to the free trade areas, like we have here in this part of the world, the ASEAN-China, ASEAN-Japan, ASEAN-South Korea free trade area, ASEAN-India, ASEAN-Australia and New Zealand, all the way to the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, largest free trade area in the world at the moment, comprising 16 countries. It seems that the world is moving into three fragmented trade relations. In addition to the regional free trade area I've referred to, the three fragmented trade relations would be one with the United States, one with China, and one with the rest of the world. Are we going through this emerging new international economic order, replacing the World Trade Organizations and all the multilateral institutions that we have seen since World War II? What is more complex is the use of reciprocal tariffs as a negotiating tool to achieve political and security objectives, ranging from expanding permanent military presence in various countries to an exchange for ending armed conflicts. The role of the United States in ending armed conflicts between India and Pakistan, between Thailand and Cambodia, and Russia and Ukraine are examples of the use of reciprocal tariffs and threat of economic sanction to achieve political and security objectives of a certain country. Therefore, global security, both today and in the future, involves many more interlinked factors than in the past decade. Equally important is the respect for international law in any conflict or skirmishes. Principles such as jus in bello or jus ad bellum, or the law of war and the law in war, remain vital. For example, no use of force against unprovoked attack, no attacks on civilians or civil communities during an armed conflict, and the prohibition of the use of indiscriminate weapons such as personal landmines. These are not abstract ideals. They are foundations of international law. They are foundations of human dignity in times of crisis. Thailand has long adhered to peaceful methods of conflict prevention and resolution. Over the past 4 decades, we have successfully applied bilateral mechanisms to prevent and to resolve disputes with our neighbors. The joint boundary committees at various levels between Thailand and its neighbor, and the establishment of joint development areas of petroleum resources in the Gulf of Thailand, especially with Malaysia, stand as concrete examples of preventive diplomacy in practice. While bilateral dialogues may proceed slowly, they have rendered amicable and sustainable results. They remind us that patience, persistence, and respect for law can turn potential flashpoints into opportunities and cooperation. And my experience as 4-year Foreign Minister and 2 years Deputy Prime Minister have taught me well that bilateral mechanism has worked and have worked for dealing with complex issues with countries in the region. But confrontation is the only one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is cooperation. The threats we face today are interconnected and transnational. Terrorism, organized crime, cyber attacks, pandemics, and climate-induced disasters do not respect national borders. They cannot be addressed by a single state acting alone. The scam center in one place can cause lives, suffering, and casualty to many around the world. And this is something that Excellency General Songwit has been working very hard in the past years. Consider this, the International Telecommunication Union estimates that 5.4 billion people, 2/3 of humanity, were online